I'm not trying to be like Jesus. I'm just trying to be who I am. But I'm not trying to go into every bar and strip club at this point. I've been there, done that. And I'm not trying to talk to all the bikers, all the gangbangers, all the white nationalists. I'm not interested. That's why I say, I think for my own evolution as a soul, I need to explore other ways of truth telling and going beyond my own ego. And it seems necessary for me to do something to evolve beyond YouTube entirely in maybe the next calendar year, to where I'm speaking with a smaller group of people, whether they be supporters or people that are deliberately seeking out my work. That could be future visitors to my website or somewhere else. YouTube does reach the whole world, but the YouTube experience through the 2D screen not only has its limitations, it seems to have an influence over base animal human psychology. So the fight or flight, the sexuality, all the other programming, all the other illusions of separation, all these things that are so like hardwired. Some of you still bring that to the table when you're watching the video. Some of you are still programmed before you even find me. Some of you are still programmed by the time that you find me. And that may be the thing that makes the determination whether you stick around or not. So there would be a reason why I would distance myself from praise from people that would use it as a way to hook into me energetically and then start to do something. Oh, I cut that shit off at the hand. If someone generally supports or sees something in me, they will be full spectrum. That doesn't mean agree with everything, but understand on a deep soul, intuitive level, in a true sense, not a bullshit sense, you understand exactly why I'm suffering and the sacrifice that I have made for this world. Others also make the sacrifice. We put our birthing behind it. We talk about the things going on in other countries, in a world where we see our peers avoiding that and making it all about themselves. Narcissism, making it all about their own targeting. Like, that's the most unattractive thing, for there to be something about someone's just personal TI issues and there to be nothing else. Now, when that person, and many do, but few do. So that's what separates the men from the boys. The men talk about the TI issue over the totality of society. They talk about the spiritual warfare. They talk about this abortion game going on. They talk about like real issues. They get into like, issues like the Super Bowl being a distraction for the zombies. So like those people at that level, they're able to talk about reality. Other people, unfortunately, right, on YouTube that may talk about certain things, like for years and years, they'll be targeting other YouTubers, right? They don't think like them. They'll be going around in circles, but they won't actually be talking about real issues. They won't be encouraging people to look within for the answers. And you'll notice that some of those people that are genuine, that are being truthful, they may not have more than 100 subscribers at best, or a few hundred. Whereas you look at some of these other people that are spouting out this, especially doing the TI psychosis thing, that your neighbors are after you, man. They're in the program. You'll see like one video with like 100,000 views. And why is that? It's because this machine, YouTube, through the people's interests, like I said before, that stuff will be more popular with viewers than the stuff that would help set them free. Just like Eve Lorgan's love bite and the things that she was tapping into, the idea of entities sending people into the wrong romantic relationships. It's the same thing with information online, but now they've got it down to a black and white science that can be measured, to where the archonic influence and that type of theorizing, someone doesn't necessarily have to swallow that to see the interference. So you can remove that and just talk about the actual computer engineers. Now, I think that there's a level of evil over them, but let's just take away that theory. And let's just say they're all doing it for money. And some people will just do stuff for money. Just think about people, hey man, this ain't business. This is just personal. I'll go to break your thumbs because you owe my boss money. And so you have what loan sharks will do. Look at what the modern propagandists, the modern gangsters, that's what these are. These are modern gangsters. So instead of literally going out and drawing blood for their money, they'll put out propaganda that'll brain fuck others to go out and draw blood. And this is where Alex Jones is guilty, and what he's done on websites like InfoWars. This is why Alex Jones is inherently guilty, because he will put out information, and he won't physically go out and attack that Muslim community, but he will put out information saying that that community is stockpiling weaponry, and other people that claim like they don't want their Second Amendment taken, other people that will claim like they don't want their people demonized because they're white or Christian, they will go and do it to someone else and not realize that people like Alex Jones are setting them up for a great fall. People like Alex Ansary would be giving them information that those that would actually hear me, they would be able to use this information that would elevate them, potentially in some cases beyond this world. It's pretty simple. Can you go beyond the bloodthirst? Can you go beyond the lust for the bad men and women of this world? It cuts both ways. And a lot of people, the answer to that is no. It's a big screaming no through a megaphone. You won't ever hear the women admit that. You won't ever hear the men admit that. Many men with very evil wives, and they're just slaves to that ass. They found a human that they were able to ejaculate in for a number of years. They had a financial agreement over living situations and who would get out and get those reserves. And even if it would be partly her, maybe there would be a requirement from her to him that that man not be a truther, that that person not have a passion to speak his truth. Because when you do this, it does create a particular vibrational frequency that can, I'm a living proof of it, alienate everyone at all times, beginning with family. So the alienation with me began with birth. And growing up in life, being alienated, being forced back and forth between parents, realizing they would be the first through the illusions of separation to want to get rid of me, to then other things that I would go through in life and in the workplace. And then I would begin to educate myself about my slavery, but not just my slavery, all of our souls in bodies, including those enslaved souls that in physical form would be my oppressor. I would see them instead as a fellow slave instead of a master. So those people that would love to promote illusions of separation ideology and would love to see themselves as more preferred as a human, that's still slave think, right? The greater freedom, the greater abundance isn't money and the amount of children that we have or the amount of wives that we have or how hot our significant other is. The real wealth, the real currency is a spiritual one, and it's those things that allow us to get beyond this world. That's why there are these old school sayings saying that a rich man cannot just cram himself through some sort of a needle to get through heaven, or to something to that effect, to camel through the needle. People forget these things, and they say those things to appease the people that they go to church with as they hold up appearances. But in their private life, and then we have all these people right now that promoted cryptocurrency and promoted Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is not looking like it's in a good position. It looks like it was pumped up along with other cryptos to get people into something that the federal governments of the world would eventually regulate to bring us into the digital one world order currency. So as this happened, as I get up to get the cat, with Bitcoin and crypto, the greater issue seems to be that it was there to popularize the medium and exchange to get the people in. It's kind of like in the same way that you get somebody into a casino, or you get someone into some sort of you give them a loan so that they can be put into debt, that type of thing. And so they've demonized the dollar long enough not to prop it up, but what they've done, they could just simply demonize the dollar system in order to prop up something else. It doesn't mean that what's coming next is better. Okay, so just pay attention. We're talking about so many different lies. So they propped up counterfeit politicians. We've seen, right, the system promote people that prop up counterfeit uh, currency alternatives, right? We've seen the propping up of social media as where the revolution ends, and it's really the place where people go and get their brain fried. It's where people learn to be at the end result of the modern day digital COINTELPRO, to where they can custom tailor a message for a particular type of audience that basically has its head in the toilet, to be frank, right? And they can make it easy. And they'll tell the people, oh, yeah, we're rebelling against the mainstream media. You have your own private handle. Here, look, you're the media now. You're posted on Facebook. And it'll all be an inversion. It'll all be an inversion. It's like, what are you talking about?